Okay, so welcome everyone to this special training. My name is Matt Connelly. I'm going to be presenting today. Barb is out training right now, so she will not be joining us. But again, my name is Matt Connelly, and today we're going to be talking about what a lot of us involved in the technology business are calling the Google apocalypse. And that might sound a little bit dramatic, I realize. But nevertheless, this is something very, very significant. I've been working online for the last 15 years, and I actually got my start marketing on Google. That's how I actually got my start in the internet business, was actually selling products and services and marketing them by ranking my websites on Google. So this is something near and dear to my heart, and it's also something that, quite frankly, is unprecedented what Google is actually announcing today. Or I should say what they're announcing effectively a week from today is a brand new rollout of their algorithm. And it's something that they've never done in the past. So I'm sure you've heard of the changes that Google has made and how it affects rankings and whatnot for their efforts to try to improve their algorithm and web spam and this type of thing. But the point of this is they are announcing a algorithm change on April 21st, and that's the first time in the history of Google they've ever announced an algorithm change. So we are going to get into the presentation and talk about what this means for you specifically. So just we'll jump right into that. So what are we going to be talking about today? So today's agenda, it's going to be what is the Google apocalypse and why is it unprecedented? How can I see if my site is going to be affected? Why is Google doing this? A question I get a lot. What kind of solutions can I have? Is also a common question, and then we're going to get into Q&A. So today we're going to be effectively doing this presentation for the next 20 minutes or so, get into Q&A and move on with it. Perhaps we'll go a little bit longer than that as far as my presentation goes, but that's what I expect to do, about 20-25 minutes, and then we will get into all of your questions. So the Google apocalypse and why it's unprecedented. We talked about the fact that Google actually announced for the first time in the life of the company an algorithm change that is coming on April 21st. And what that is, it's something also billed as Mobilegeddon, another kind of apocalyptic term as it comes to this, and it really is something that cannot be ignored anymore. And so what Google is actually saying, and it's not just Google, of course, we're talking about some of the other big search engine, let's say review sites and sites that follow the search engines have been talking about this for a while as well. But it's also a public service announcement that Google has made. But basically, they are going to start changing the results based on the fact if you have a mobile-friendly site or not. And so if you do not, you will be omitted from the results, from the Google results. So that is extremely significant for anyone who wants to get free traffic to their site and free advertising, free visibility. This is a very, very significant factor. Now, those of you that follow the search engines understand to the biggest recent updates that Google has made were two updates that were labeled Google Panda and Google Penguin. And these updates were primarily going after fighting web spam, websites that would spam Google and try to get rankings. And that still works well in Google, by the way, but it's something we never recommend to folks who ask questions about search engine optimization. But that said, it is with this new update, they are going to be not only affecting sites that aren't mobile friendly, but also sites that have some other issues with them. There's going to be an algorithm change as it pertains to how fast a site loads, things along those lines. And so it's something that's going to be significant, and we're going to get into that as well just here future in a few minutes. Okay, so how to check to see if you're mobile friendly. Not surprisingly, you actually use Google to actually do this, and you simply just type in mobile friendly test into Google, and you'll have the mobile friendly test. It comes up. It's part of the Webmaster Tools. Webmaster Tools is something that you can integrate into your website to understand more about how Google actually sees your website. So if you're not integrated with Google Webmaster Tools, it's definitely something that you should do, because it gives you insight into how Google actually sees your site. You might see it differently than actually Google does. And you might have pages on your site that Google doesn't know about, and you might have issues with your site that you had no idea, but Google has actually found them. And that's why you use Google Webmaster Tools. But nevertheless, this is what you do is just simply go to Google, type in mobile friendly test, and then input a URL into that particular page. And here we're going to give an example of a non-compliant site, as you can see here. And you can see that it's pretty clear, not mobile friendly, and basically the text is too small to read, the mobile viewpoint is not set, and the links are too close together. And we've all been to websites like this where we went to a particular site and on our mobile phone, and we have to expand the link, and we click on the wrong link because we're trying to click on another one, and it's obviously frustration ensues. So this is something that definitely that Google's trying to omit from their search results, because when you have individuals that are searching and they're afraid to click on the results that Google has, this is where Google can lose massive amounts of money. And so we're going to get into that in a little bit as far as the reasoning why Google's actually doing this. But nevertheless, I mean, obviously money's a driving factor in any business, and it certainly is in this case. But it's something where if you're not compliant, then it's something where it's just not kind of an option anymore. You have to do something about this, or you're just going to be left in the dark. So multiple device search and why this is important as well. Now Google, they've traditionally always been pretty hush-hush about the updates that they release, and the kind of, they don't want to give too much information on their algorithm because they don't want people to be able to use that information to be able to game the system. So that's what's so strange about this actual announcement by Google to actually say, hey, this is something we're going to be changing, and here is the date of which we are going to be changing it. It's unprecedented. It's never happened, and it's really big thing as far as the folks like me who follow the search engines quite a bit. And so multiple device search is important as well, because one thing you might not realize when you're actually searching inside of Google, a lot of you I'm sure have an iPhone or an iPad, or the like, an Android device, and you have the Google app on your phone or on your device. You're logged into your account. This is something that when you do a search on your desktop, and then maybe from your laptop or from maybe your tablet or your smartphone, it's something that will have effects as well. But basically, right now, what Google is stating is that this is going to be for mobile phones. Right now, they're not looking at tablets as specific mobile devices. They're talking about phones only. However, when we're talking about being logged into your account and actually doing searches and clicking on links, this is going to be significant for really anyone who has a Google account, because they do track what you're doing, as everyone knows, and they will display results based on previous links that you clicked on. So that's why when you're ever doing an actual Google search and you want to actually understand really what the clean results are, is you always want to search in incognito mode, is what it's called. So basically you get the fresh results. You don't get the results that Google is showing you based on your previous click history, based on your login, and they're understanding your demographics and what you're looking for. So there's going to be some significant ties to this as well. So it's only going to affect you, even though they've stated it's going to just affect you on your mobile phone. It's also going to affect you perhaps based on the accounts that you're logged into. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how this plays out as the algorithm rolls out. Okay, so here's a little cool little identifier within the search. As you can see here, I'm just doing the search here on the web, and the results coming up for Good as Gold training, Barb's website. So you can see here it's mobile friendly, and this is a recent update that Google has done, of course, just with mobile searches, but it's something that we've tested on two of our websites, which had a number 2 and 3 position, which were actually getting roughly the same amount of clicks. And we tested our mobile traffic in terms of our click-through rate. And our click-through rate was actually double on the mobile-friendly site. And the only difference was, primarily, was the fact that one said mobile-friendly and one did not. So this is a way in which that you can get an edge on your competition if they actually do allow non-mobile friendly sites in the future update. That's unclear to how they're actually going to do this. They haven't specified exactly how they're going to be omitting certain sites from the results, but we know they are going to be omitting certain sites from the results. And so that, from that perspective, it's something that you absolutely positively need to consider. All right, so why is Google doing this? This is something that I get this question quite a bit from the people that I've been telling over the last month about this change. And there's basically 2 factors involved as far as how I see it. First of all, you have a better search experience when it comes to individuals being able to search online. When you arrive at a page that's non-mobile friendly from your phone, you understand how frustrating it can be to actually navigate that particular site. And in a lot of cases where they have certain types of flash or whatnot that's not visible on an iPhone, as an example, it can cause other issues as well as far as being able to use the site the way that it was meant to be used. So this is obviously an issue where it comes to just doing a search and actually getting to the result of what you want to get to. And that's what Google's always trying to do, is trying to deliver that result, because they know that if individuals come back and they're confident to click on links in the search engine results, they will come back again and again and again. And guess what else they're going to click on? They're going to click on ads as well, because they have confidence. This really was the main factor which led to the downfall of Yahoo back. This is about, now we're dating back to 10 years or so, where Yahoo actually still had quite a bit of search engine, let's say, market share at that time, but people were not comfortable to click on their links, on the links in the search engine result pages, and it basically forced them out of business in terms of using their own search engine, because the results were just junk, and people didn't have results to click on any of the search engine results when they did a search, and therefore they weren't clicking on the ads as much. And so that's why it's an important driving motivator for Google to actually do this. So they're forcing webmasters to actually make this change. They are not they're not playing games anymore. We all saw this coming. I'm sure that if you participated on some of my calls in the past year or two, you understand what's happening from a mobile perspective, and how the mobile numbers in terms of traffic continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. If I look back to about 3 years ago, when we're looking at our portfolio of sites in terms of the traffic that we get from mobile devices, in some cases and in some markets, it differs from market to market and, of course, country to country. But the traffic that we would be getting from mobile devices 3-4 years ago, let's say, was less than 3%. So it wasn't even really on our radar at that point to be optimized. Now we're talking, in some markets, it's at 25%, 30% of our total traffic, and sometimes even more, again, depending on the market of what we're talking about. And I'm sure that you see the younger generation, a lot of people aren't even seeing the value in having a laptop computer anymore, and they're just using their tablet devices and phones to do the types of things that they need to do. And so that's why we're working with that, and that's why this is important. Okay, so if we can get into the solution. Now, the solution here is developing a responsive website. Okay, so developing a responsive website. What is that? A lot of people ask, what do you mean when you say developing a responsive website? A responsive website is basically the same website. It has the same functionality. It just fits all devices differently. Okay, so when we talk about that, if we have this example of where we have the iMac and the iPad and the actual iPhone, we will see that how it lays out differently on each page, but it lays out properly to where you can click on the links, where you can see everything, where you can see how everything it will actually make sense based on which devicing that's accessing your website. And so how it works is, if you're not aware of this, but basically the device will identify itself when it comes to your site. So it will go and it will say, hello, I'm an iPhone, and then based on that, we will serve up the responsive site, identifies that fact, and actually adjust to the screen size and everything. So that's actually kind of a coding thing, a technology thing, as it pertains to that. The additional thing here is the responsive.is is actually a site in which that you can check out your website to see how it looks on the different devices out there. So if you go to responsive.is, you will see basically how your website looks on the different devices. So this is something that that definitively you want to take a look at. It's something that for sure, like you have to be responsive now. There's no playing around anymore. There's no changing. There's no changing as far as that's concerned. So it's something that you absolutely positively want to do. Is go responsive with your websites. There's a lot of technologies that people will come forward and say, look, it's better to have a mobile site. So this is a separate website that is actually related to a mobile, just to attack mobile phones. But this is something that definitively you want to you want to probably not do in most recruiters' cases. You want to just go to a responsive website that adjusts based on the device that's accessing it, and to be able to manage your mobile traffic this way. And Google is very, very happy with this type of design. There's some cases in some markets where it makes sense to have a mobile site, but generally speaking, where everything is going is in the direction of responsive design. So that said, I'm going to now open it up and just also let everyone know on this call that we actually have an offer here for individuals that want to get their site back in order, to get to actually get their site up to date, to be able to be mobile friendly. And that URL is goodasgoldtraining.com/2015. As you know, the next week we are going to be seeing the results of the actual Google update. So we don't have a lot of time, and that's why you have to actually stop the amount of number of firms to 10 as far as ones that want to actually inquire about making this change and what kind of short-term updates they can make, and then also go responsive and how long that will take. And that's something that we can do for you on a 30-minute consultation where I can actually walk you through that. And I'm going to jump into questions now. We have several questions. And so what is the website to check if your site is mobile friendly? If you go to google.com and you actually search for mobile friendly test, you will see the first result is a Google website where you actually can input that into your URL into it, and you can see how Google sees your site. This is an important factor because sometimes someone will say, look, my site looks fine on a mobile phone. But if Google doesn't think so, if they think that it doesn't look good and it's not coded right, then it doesn't matter. Then you're going to be omitted no matter what. So we've had that issue with several webmasters and several clients, in fact, that say, look, my site looks good on a mobile phone, but actually, in fact, Google sees it as differently. And so you have to understand that, and that's something that you definitely want to attack. Okay, so if our website has a mobile site and comes up in the Google search as mobile friendly, we shouldn't see any issues come April 21st, correct? That is correct. You should not see any issues. In fact, you should see maybe a little bit more traffic because some of your competitors are going to be out of the top 10 results. So anywhere where that you're getting rankings, your rankings should actually go up. So if you're seeing your mobile friendly, you should only benefit from that. Of course, that's something that you always should consider is looking at some of the other issues on your site which could be holding you back in Google. It's not just the responsive and the side of the responsive side of your site. That's a big part of this update. But there's also things rolling into this update that we're going to be testing after the update rolls out. But I know one of them is definitely going to be page speed, because it's something that Google's focusing on more as well, is sites that actually have certain types of page speed. Okay, question here. What is the typical cost to convert a site to mobile friendly? It really depends on the site that you have, the platform that you have converted in. And so this question is from Jim. Jim, what I would recommend is that we talk offline and we talk about the site that you have and what you've actually built, and then we can look at that process. That's what I'm offering here, is to actually take a look at your site to be able to convert it, but also for you to be able to perhaps even looking at a new site entirely, which may be something that you're interested in, maybe not. But that's something that definitively that you want to consider at this point, because there's some new and upcoming technologies that you want to be sure to be taking advantage of, and such as there's so many sites that I look at in the websites that we build for the staffing and recruiting profession that do not have the ability for the owners to make really basic changes. Or something that we see quite a bit is that the ATS, the applicant tracking system that they're integrating with, is actually linked to a third-party website, and like sendouts.com or what have you. That's something you do not want to do under any circumstance. You do not want to do that. So that's something that that you want to integrate that into your website, because candidates are afraid to actually, even though it's linking from your website, they're afraid to input their data into a third-party system. So that's something that we recommend. So we do a full audit of your site and check to see where we can actually do better with this. Okay, so there's a few other questions. What is the worst case scenario if I am able to? What if I don't do anything, and what's going to happen? Okay, so what will happen in this case is basically you will be left out of the search results initially on searches that originate from a mobile device. So if you don't know what those numbers are on your site, then that's something that you should know within Google Analytics, and that's something, again, that it's one of the things that we would look at when we talk to you on our consultation, is actually see if you're integrated with Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools, because you can actually see the types of you can see the types of traffic where your traffic is coming from, what type of devices are accessing your site, where your searches are originating from in terms of country, and just a lot of good data that you can get from your site that quite frankly a lot of owners that I'm working with do not understand or do not know these basic things. So that's something that we would do. So for example, you'd 100% want to get an idea of how much traffic you're getting on mobile devices right now. And that's a question that if I asked that, I would say 9 out of 10 owners wouldn't have the answer to that question right now. And so that's something you'd want to know. But if you do not do anything different, it's more than likely going to hurt you in terms of the traffic that you're getting. I would say almost, let's say 95% chance that that would be the case. Okay. So if my page has 2 resources which are blocked by robots.txt, is this a big deal? No, that's not a big deal. In fact, that's pretty normal to block pages from Google from indexing them, because there's some pages that you want Google to not know about or not to include in the index. For example, there might be a private document that you have on your website that you don't want to be part of the Google search results. You actually deny these in your robots.txt file. So that is no problem whatsoever. If you have portals on your website that are not mobile friendly, how does this affect your site? If you're linking to this could be a problem. This is something that we're going to be looking at. It's a good question. So for example, if you have if you're linking to a third-party site, that's not going to affect you in Google search. It's only your website that is going to be affected. So if you're mobile friendly but you're linking to a site that's not mobile friendly, that's really no problem, at least from the initial search point of view. Obviously, it's something that we definitely are going to be looking at to see if there's going to be any kind of results with that. But like, for example, there's some applicant tracking systems that are not mobile friendly yet. And so this is an issue when you have a whole entirely responsive website that is looking good on a mobile phone, but then the ATS is not responsive. So that's something that you need to be considerate of when you're integrating third-party apps on your website. Question: how do you search? How do you conduct a search incognito? Okay, great question. You actually do a search where you type. You actually right-click your browser and you open up a new window and it says Search Incognito. Okay, and if you're on a Mac, you just do kind of like the 2-finger tap and then open up the browser, and there'll be an option there. You'll see Search Incognito. So it's something that allows you to do that. That's a great way to search to get a true understanding of what the true search engine results are, because in that case, Google is not looking at your cookies and they're not looking at the account that you're logged in as. So that's where the purest results will come from. Okay, so if you guys have any other questions, you can type your question into the question box. I'm waiting for. Okay. I see that my primary company site or that neither my primary company site or Good as Gold site are mobile friendly. Do I need to change that the site aligned with you folks? Actually, Good as Gold Training is. GoodAsGoldTraining.com is mobile friendly, as I showed on this presentation. So if we're talking about the happy candidate sites, the happy candidate sites right now are not. But as far as the Google search results on your happy candidate sites, that's something that the individual portal sites are not actually getting. There's not a lot of mobile traffic. I've looked at the numbers here. The mobile traffic is the actual portal sites in general don't rank because individuals are not promoting them like they promote their main websites. How search engine optimization works is to basically get links to your website from third-party places, and no one's actually getting links to their portal site from third-party places. What they're doing is they're getting links to their main website, and that's how that's working. So so that's definitely something that you need to consider. It's something that we're going to have a complete whole new system very shortly here with Happy Candidates that's going to be mobile friendly. But not only that, it's going to be on top of that, there's going to be some additional cool little features as it pertains to mobile with the Happy Candidate sites. But as far as individual ranking of any uh, individual career portal sites, because of how they're promoted, they're not really in the search engines themselves. So how people are actually getting there, so it's not really affecting the portal sites. For those of you who have Happy Candidates portals, you don't really have to concern yourself with those because these sites are not ranking in the search engines like your company sites are ranking. The company sites, a lot of these sites are ranking from the clients that I work with. And so that's something that you need to be aware of. So definitely there's really not a concern there. There's only an issue there with usability, which is something that we're addressing in our new update. Question, if I signed up for your $1 consultation, when will I hear from you? You'll hear from me in the next 24 to 48 hours. So today or tomorrow is when I'll give you a phone call, and then we can schedule a time if that time is not convenient, and we can take it from there. Okay, and what if, so a question comes up again from Jill. What if I don't convert my site, but within a month or so, what happens? Okay, very good question. So I don't convert my site, next week, but in a month I'm going to convert it. Question is we really don't know, to be 100% honest. However, we have an understanding that Google will recrawl your site, and they will identify that now this site is mobile friendly and start to include you in the search results that originate from mobile devices. So you don't really have to, if you're okay with losing, your traffic, for your mobile traffic perhaps for a few weeks, then you could take your time and get a site up that, let's say, in the next month, which is definitely doable, and to have it responsive and have it address all of the mobile issues that we talked about today. So that's something that presumably would happen. It's how Google has worked always in the past, that they're constantly updating their algorithm. They're actually updating their index 3 times a week. So every time that they recrawl your website, they will see that, hey, there's new content. Should we add it? Should we include it in the index? And they'll also notice, of course, if you're mobile friendly at that point. So presumably at that point, they'll start to include you in the results that originate from a mobile device in terms of search. Okay. Does that affect my rankings when I come up in a Google search? I'm not sure what that question means, but if I could guess, if you're talking about being logged into your Google account and also having cookies on your browser when you're actually doing a search, yes, that does change your results, because Google actually personalizes the results to the user. So based on the fact that I'm logged into my Google account, whatever my Google account may be, and I have a history of doing a search, and I've clicked on results before, that when I scan the top 10, I clicked, let's say, on the 5th result, what would happen there is potentially that 5th result that I clicked on could show up as number 1 the next time I perform that search, because I obviously liked that result more than the other results in the top 10. And so that's how Google personalized search works. And so that's why, if you want to get an understanding of how you rank for any particular keyword phrase, you always should do it based on an incognito search, which doesn't take into account your history in terms of cookies and in terms of your recent activity inside of your account, your demographics, etc., that Google actually personalizes your search according to. So that's something that's how you look at it to get a full understanding of what the real results are for any particular search. If I'm not mobile friendly and then do become so that do I lose my rankings in a Google search? We answered that question, but yeah. You will lose it in a search that originates from a mobile device. You will lose that temporarily until you get mobile friendly again. So you will be losing traffic, you will be losing exposure, and so that's something that you want to be aware of, and that's why we're doing this training call today to update everyone to something that you just can't ignore it anymore. We've been talking about this now for a few years to make your site mobile friendly, but this is something that for sure that you don't want to do. you just have no other choice right now. You have no other choice but to go mobile friendly. And I know a lot of people have been putting it off, and I know a lot of people have said, look, I can do it at a later point. But really, this is one of those things that you just cannot do any longer. So we don't have any more questions. So again, if anyone has any more questions, they can type it into the bottom bar there. We do have actually a few slots left on the firms to sign up to actually get all their questions answered and to have a review of their site to see how it's looking and what other changes potentially that need to be made. I know it's something that, quite frankly, a lot of people have come to me asking for information on search engine optimization when they understand that that's how I actually made my living for several years when I got started on the internet. But the true kind of nature is that you really don't want to hire search engine optimization firms. I would say that you have a 90 to 95% chance of being disappointed when you do these, when you actually hire a firm, because of just the nature of the business. But I can definitely advise you to how this works and how it can work with you and your firm, and how you can at least get the basis of search engine optimization on your site so that Google knows where all of your pages are, and they understand really the true nature of your site, what is it about, and how it relates to other websites that they consider to be authoritative sites in the marketplace. So that's something that that definitely I know a lot of owners are interested in. We've talked about doing some calls, specific to search engine optimization. We haven't done that yet, but I know that at some point this year we will, to clarify some of the main questions that pertain to that. But nevertheless, that is it with our presentation and our questions. Again, if you want to even just have us take a look at your site, see how the site structure is, how you potentially could get an edge over your competition, I would sign up for the consultation, because that's what we do by standard in our consultation, is actually to go through your site and do an audit of it and point out some of the things which can improve. And we do it from all of our different factors. We have like over a 20-point checklist, and we look at sites as how they can improve. So goodasgoldtraining.com/2015, and it's only $1 to sign up. You'll talk to me for 30 minutes, and we'll have an offer for you if you want to convert your site into being a mobile-friendly site, or if you want to rewrite your site completely and get something up in the meantime. That's something we can do as well. So that's something that that I wanted to point out. So with that said, that's all we have with the presentation today. I appreciate everyone joining and going through this. I appreciate all the questions, and that was excellent. I think that we clarified a lot of these things, and again, this is an important thing it's just something that's really a non-negotiable anymore. It's something that you have to do, and that's why I took the time out to make this call today, to let everyone know that it's really not an optional thing anymore. If you really want to be part of Google's future and to be integrated with the results, you're going to have to go mobile friendly. They're pushing you in that direction, so it's just one of those things that you absolutely positively have to do now. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can also email me, matt@staffingandrecruiting.com. So by all means, send me an email there as well if you have any questions. But if you signed up for the consultation, I see that we just have a couple of spots left. Definitely act on that, and I will be getting back in touch with you in the next 24 to 48 hours. So that is all. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and again, if you have any questions, you can email me, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you.